The phone rang at 2:17 a.m. Not the kind of ring you ignore, not the kind that waits for voicemail. I answered without speaking. On the other end, nothing, just breathing, slow, measured, like whoever it was wanted me to know they were there. Then, click. The silence afterward wasn't quiet at all. My head filled with static. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, my son asleep in the next room, and the clock ticking in that steady, surgical rhythm. I told myself it was a wrong number. I didn't believe it. The next morning I found the note. Not on the counter, not in plain sight. Folded once, tucked under the salt shaker as if she thought I'd never notice. Don't try to find me. That was it. No name, no reason, no apology. Just a subtraction, a removal of presence. It took me 5 minutes to check the bank accounts. 4 of them were empty. The joint savings we'd been building for 8 years, gone. My son's college fund, gone. I stared at the zeros for a long time. Then I heard the sound of cereal crunching behind me. "Dad," my son said, his voice strangely steady for a child, "don't worry, I handled it." Handled what? He didn't elaborate, he just kept eating. When you live with someone for nearly a decade, you know the temperature of their lies. At first, I told myself she'd been kidnapped, coerced, forced, that this was someone else's crime, not hers, that the breathing on the phone wasn't hers. Then the phone records came in, my own quiet request to the carrier, a number I didn't recognize. Repeated calls, late at night, always after I'd gone to bed. A quick search of the number showed a name, Brian, convicted twice for armed robbery, currently out on parole. I didn't tell my son. I didn't tell anyone. Instead, I opened the closet and saw the absence. Her winter coat missing, the leather boots I bought her last Christmas, the framed photo from our anniversary trip. She didn't take clothes randomly. She took the ones that mattered to her. 8 years of trust felt like a house with its foundation sawed away. The strangest part? I couldn't even summon anger yet, only precision. The cold clarity of someone who knows a storm is coming, but chooses to watch the clouds instead. I kept thinking about my son's words. I handled it. Handled what? I moved like nothing had happened, dropped my son at school, went to work, smiled at the right moments. Meanwhile, I started pulling threads, credit reports, bank login histories, IP addresses. 2 transfers stood out, large, same-day withdrawals sent to an unlisted account. The name on it wasn't hers, it was Brian's. I didn't call her, I didn't even block her. People who think they're winning get sloppy. That night, after my son fell asleep, I found his tablet left on the couch. There was an open message chain I didn't recognize, emails, not texts. The account name was fake, but the writing was hers. She'd been planning this for months, timing it for when my bonus hit. She even wrote about starting fresh with Brian in another state. But buried at the bottom was something else. A message from my son's email account, sent to her. I read it 3 times, short, cryptic, chilling in its simplicity. "You'll regret this." No threats, no explanation, just that. The next day, a mutual friend accidentally let slip that my wife had been bragging to someone about finally being free of the boring life. That was when I knew this wasn't impulse. This was strategy. I decided I could play that game too. A week later, the final piece slid into place. A forensic accountant's report I'd paid for in cash. It showed every dollar she'd taken, every transfer, every name, and something unexpected. She hadn't just stolen me. She'd moved stolen funds from Brian's past jobs into that same account. Federal-level laundering. I printed the report, 1 copy. When she finally texted, it was casual. "Need to talk? Meet?" I met her in the park, public, daylight. My son was at school. She smiled like she expected me to beg. I handed her the envelope without a word. She opened it, read the first page. Her smile collapsed. Her eyes darted over the columns of figures, the signatures, the highlighted sections that tied her name to federal crimes. You can't," she stammered. I didn't speak. I didn't have to. She asked me what I wanted. Money back? Forgiveness? I told her I wanted nothing. That was worse. I let the silence do the work. Every second without my reaction hollowed her out. Then I told her the truth, that I'd already sent copies of the report to Brian's parole officer, that federal investigators would be interested in the rest, that I'd given nothing to the police yet because sometimes letting someone sit in uncertainty is the sharper blade. Her hands shook. She reached for me. I stepped back, and then I dropped the last card. "That email you got," I said. She blinked. "What email?" "My son's email," I said, my voice flat. "He meant it." Her face changed. Not guilt, not shame, fear. 3 nights later she called, screaming, something about Brian's arrest, about their plans collapsing, about how I'd ruined her life. I listened until she ran out of breath. Then I said, "I didn't ruin anything. You did." And I hung up. I never heard from her again. My son never explained what he'd done, and I didn't ask. We sat together on the porch the next evening, watching the sun sink like a coin into dark water. 8 years gone. But the air was clean. Some things don't need closure. Some things just need to end.